Hey guys, what's going on? I know it's a little late, but hope you guys are having a nice Sunday evening. And tonight if you guys haven't read the title, we're going to be opening some of this. Some Yu-Gi-Oh! Ancient Guardians. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera. Okay, so here we are. We got Yu-Gi-Oh! Ancient Guardians here. And just letting you guys know, I have not one, but two boxes of Ancient Guardians to open for you guys tonight. So let's explain let me explain what Ancient Guardians is all about. So as you see from the front, their little saying for this box is Snake String. So we got three new, not new, but some three archetypes that are featured in this set. And in this set, there's only 60 cards. 10 cards are collector's rare, and we got 7 cards per pack, and we got 24 cards per box. So if you're planning to get your own box, this is what to expect. And unlike some previous boxes, this is a much more normal set. It's only going to be 1 foil card per pack. So if you're expecting something like my previous opening of Ghost of the Past, then no, 1 foil card per pack, and it's much more normalized. So it says right here, each set includes 35 rares, 15 super rares, and 10 ultra rares, and 15 cards. Oh, excuse me, that's a 10 for. It is 15 cards as collector's rares. So we actually have some rares in this set. So let's get to it. Open up the box, and while I open this up, let me explain to you some stuff about the set. So we got three little archetypes. So we got a new graveyard-based strategy kind of monsters and cards in here. So, and we have new pendulum summoning monsters and a new theme called the Arctic, which features, if you haven't guessed it, bears, icy polar bears. So, which has this new gimmick of well, not different, but like, yeah, I guess you can say it's different, but it's a different spin on synchro summoning. So if you guys want to go check that out, you should go ahead and look it up for yourselves, because I don't want to get too much into it. But here, we're gonna start off with the full box. Of course, these are all first edition. Here you go. We got some cool arts on the front of these packs. Here's the one for the pendulum summoning group here of cards. This one is from the Arctic, and this one is whatever this one is. This Ancient Guardians for the colder cards and stuff. So let's get started. So 7 cards per pack, and let's hope we get a collector's rare. There's 15 collector's rares in here, so let's just hope to see if we can get something cool out of this entire set. And since it's only 60 cards, we're gonna get a lot of dupes, especially if you decide to buy a lot of these boxes. So here you go. Let's see. Yeah, damage reptile. Once per turn, take damage from a battle. When you take damage from a battle involving a reptile monster, you can special summon 1 reptile from your deck with attack less than or equal to the damage you took. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's a continuous, so cool. Let me adjust the lighting again. Let's see here. A little bit lower lighting. Good. Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Okay, so looks like the common card in this set will be the rares, and then we'll have like a super rare, it seems. So let's check. So damage reptile. Okay, we have Arctic Mega Polar. So here's our first Arctic card. The Beast Warrior Tuner effect. So during the main phase, quick effect, you contribute one other summon or higher monster from your hand. So summon this card from your hand. Also, you can also summon it for the rest of this turn, except for monsters with a level. Okay. If this card is special summoned while you control another Arctic monster, you can target 1 spell or trap the monster the opponent controls and destroy it. You can only use each effect of Arctic Mega Polar once per turn. That's interesting. Okay. Alright, we got Offering to the Snake Deity. Okay, much simpler trap card compared to previous trap cards. You know, you have a whole paragraph of effects going on in some cases. Target 1 face-up reptile you control and 2 cards. Your 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy all 3 targets. Interesting. Alright, we got Wavering Eyes, quick effect. Ooh, look at that art. Alright, destroy as many cards in each player's pendulum zone as possible, then apply these effects in sequence, depending on the number of cards destroyed by this effect. If you have 1 card, 500 damage to opponent. 2 cards, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your main deck to your hand. 3 or more, banish 1 card on the field. And if at 4 cards, you can add 1 Wavering Eyes from your deck to your hand. Cool. Okay, we have a synchro monster here. Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. Cool, look at that guy. Insane. Alright, so 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner pendulum monsters. So once per turn, you can target 1 pendulum monster on the field or 1 card in the pendulum zone. Destroy it, and if you do, shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Draco Slayer from your deck in defensive position, but cannot be used as material for synchro summon. Interesting. Arctic Mega Billis. Look at this guy. He's got a bear head for a chest. You guys can't see that. Main phase, quick effect. You contribute 1 or 1 other level 7 or higher monster from your hand. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn, except for monsters with a level. I'm sorry, what? I need to read that again. Hold on. Oh, so you can't Xyz summon, right? You can Xyz or synchro summon, right? No, you can synchro summon. You just can't Xyz summon. Xyz or link monster. You can't link summon. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. If this card is special summon while you control another resurrected monster, you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. They can only use that effect once per turn. Interesting. Okay, and now here's our super rare Arctic Polar. Main phase quick effect. You contribute one other level 7 or higher monster from your hand. Special summon this card from your hand. It's the same Arctic effect. So the summoning restriction here. And if this card is special summoned, you can add one Arctic monster from your deck to your hand, except for this same with this card. You can only use each effect of Arctic Polar once per turn. Interesting. Okay. Let's keep going. So we're getting a lot of Arctic Polars right at the back here. Okay, here we go. So we got Zoha, the Ogdoadic Boundless. Is that how you say it? Ogdoadic, the Boundless. Okay, we've got a reptile here. So this is from the reptile set here. Maybe is it easier to see if I can move the light like that? There we go. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard or special summon from the graveyard, it can activate this effect. Your opponent draws one card, and if they do, you add one Ogdoadic monster from your deck to your hand, except Zoa. Then each player adds one card from their hand to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to the grave and add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Wow, there's a lot of graveyard play in these reptile monsters, you know. All right, Dino Wrestler. Okay, we got Pankratops featured in this set. So he's a reprint as a rare. Oh, we got a face down card. Okay, Rise of the Snake Deity. I think this isn't new. I think this is also a reprint, I believe. Yeah, in the face of Venom Minion, King of Poisonous Snakes you control is destroyed except by battle. Special summon one Venom Minaga Data Poisonous. Yeah, this isn't new. Okay, and this is a face down card. Okay, so we got a Ursetic Quint Charge. Once per turn, you can pay 700 life points. Okay, and then activate one of the following effects. You can add one Ursetic monster from your graveyard to your hand, or tribute two Ursetic monsters, even if they're face down. If you do special summon from your extra deck one Ursetic monster with a level equal to the difference. So this is what's different about Ursetic monsters. Instead of for synchro monsters, you have to do the difference of the level of those monsters. Ignoring its summoning conditions, when your Ursetic synchro monster is destroyed by an opponent attack, you can activate this effect. Your monster must shuffle all cards to the deck, and so the total number of cards in their hand and graveyard is equal to 7. Interesting. And then we have Skullmeister. Simple card. When a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card to their hand to the graveyard and negate the effect. Easy. All right. Okay, and we have Sulfacore Dreamia. So this is one of the newer cards for pendulums. Music themed, by the way. So a fairy pendulum summon effect. When you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if a Sulfacore pendulum monster you will control would be destroyed by the opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead of one of those cards. If you control a Sulfacore card in your pendulum zone, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use this effect of Dreamia once per turn. Cool. And we have our super rare Ogdoadic Water Lily. That looks pretty cool. There's you guys can barely see the illustration, but you can see like the little, I think that's like a doll or something, or a snake, I don't know, in the hollow there. That's actually pretty cool of them. So send one reptile from your deck to the graveyard, and then if you have 5 or more reptiles with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon one reptile monster from your graveyard. You can only activate one Water Lily per turn. Cool. Keep going. So once we see more duplicates, we'll keep on going. Oh, we got a fusion monster here. Dinosaur Power, the mighty Draco Slayer. Okay, we got a dragon fusion monster here. One Draco Slayer pendulum monster and one regular pendulum monster. So this is specifically to pendulums. Must be first be special summoned from your extra deck by attributing the above cards to control. Pendulum monsters in your monster zones and pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by battle and your opponent's card or your opponent's card effects. Cool. Once per turn, you can special summon one Draco Slayer pendulum monster from your hand or graveyard, but it cannot be used as fusion material. All right. Here we go. Venom Minaga, deity of the poisonous snake. So this one's not new, I believe. This is actually a reprint, so a much older card coming back. I'm not gonna read that entire paragraph, but you guys can look it up. So, Soulful Chord Scale. Okay, you can apply any of the following effects in sequence based on the number of Soulful Chord pendulum monsters you control with different names. You have 3 or more, return 1 card from your pendulum zone to your hand, and if you do, place 1 Soulful Chord pendulum monster from your extra deck to your pendulum zone. If you have 5 or more, special summon 1 Soulful Chord pendulum monster from your hand, and if you have set more than 7, destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls. You can only activate 1 Soulful Chord Scale once per turn. Alright, and I have another Megabilus, and okay, here's Ayers Rock Sunrise. So if you guys don't remember from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, this is the card that was made specifically in that show, and as like an art card, you know? So if you target 1 beast monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, and if you do, all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls loses 200 attack for each beast, plant, and winged beast monster you currently have in your graveyard. Until the end of this turn, you can only activate 1 Ayers Rock Sunrise once per turn. Okay, we got another damage equals reptile, and then our rare is Ursatic Departure. Discard 1 card and add 2 Ursatic monsters from your deck to your hand. If you would tribute a monster or monsters to activate an Ursatic monster effect, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Ursatic Departure once per turn. Cool. Moving on. Glad to know that these wrappers are clean to open. Alright, we got King of the Feral Imps, an Xyz monster, 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material to add 1 reptile back to your hand. From your deck to your hand. Okay. Another Mighty Draco Slayer here. Snake Rain. Discard 1 card and send 4 reptile monsters from your deck to your graveyard. So very simple. Like, a lot of these are old cards as well. Ogdoadic Calling. Special summon 2 Ogdoadic tokens. Or if you have 8 or more Ogdoadic monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can apply this effect instead. Special summon 2 reptile monsters with different names from your graveyard. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. Cool. Alright, we got a Pendulum monster. Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. You cannot special summon the Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz monsters using this card as material except for Draco Slayer monsters. Cool. And we have for the Pendulum effect, once per turn, if you have a card in your other pendulum zone, you can destroy the card, and if you do, add 1 card from your deck to your hand with the same name as that card. Interesting. Alright, we got another Xyz monster. Majester Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. Look at that art. It's so much going on. You need 2 level 4 pendulum monsters. When this card is Xyz summon, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn. And once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Special summon 1 face-up Draco Slayer pendulum monster from your extra deck, and it cannot be used as material for Xyz summoning. Okay, and for our super rare, we got Ursatic McBillis again, I believe. No, this is a different McBillis. No, yeah, this is different. So, look at that. Okay, so during the main phase, quick effect, tribute 1. Okay, so the Ursatic summoning, quick effect. And if this card is special summon, you can special summon 1 Ursatic monster from your hand, except for McBillis. Okay, so it's pretty much these cards are enabling the other Ursatic monsters to be summoned from the hand or wherever else they're coming from. So, moving on. Okay, so no collector's rares yet. So we got another Luster Pendulum. Ogdoadic Origin. Oh, look at that. Something's going on in this year. If a face-up reptile monster you control is destroyed by a battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. If this card is in the field zone, is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can send cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard equal to the number of reptile monsters with different names in your graveyard. You can only use the effect of Ogdoadic Origin once per turn. So this is interesting. So for these Ogdoadic monsters and reptile monsters with different names in your graveyard, so the strategy here is to have reptile monsters in your graveyard to activate these effects and be more beneficial to you. Okay, we've got another Megapolar. So this one can target one spell or trap your opponent monster control once per turn. Offering to the Snake Deity once again. Okay, we got Sulfur Core Dreaming once again. Trade In. You guys remember Trade In? Old school card. Discard one level 8 and draw 2 cards. So level 8 back in the day would be like, what, Blue Eyes White Dragon or something like that. And then for our super rare is our Ursetic Slider. Target one of your Ursetic monsters that is banished in your graveyard or in your graveyard, special summon it but it cannot attack, and also destroy it during the end phase. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon except for monsters with a level. You can only activate one of these cards per turn. Quick effect. Cool. Moving on. Come on. Collector's Rare? Collector's Rare? Okay, we got a new Sulfur Cord. So this is a Me Sulfur Cord Elitia. So for Pendulum effect, Pendulum summons of your Sulfur Cord Pendulum monsters cannot be negated. So while you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, you take no damage from battles, including your Sulfur Cord Pendulum monsters. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls and return it to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Cool. Another Origin. Or is that a Quint Charge? We've read one of these already, I believe. Oh, we got another. Okay, Zoa. Okay, Pot of Riches. Shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters into the deck from your graveyard or face up from your excuse me. Let me read that again. Shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters into the deck from your graveyard or from your face up from your extra deck. Interesting. Then draw 2 cards. You can only activate 1 Pot of Riches per turn. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this card except by Pendulum summoning. Interesting. Alright, we got Sulfur Card Formal. Look at that card. Look at that art on that card. A lot going on here. While you have a Sulfur Card, or at least one Sulfur card in your Pendulum zone, while your opponent activates a spell trap or monster effect, shuffle 1 face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck into the deck, and then apply these effects. Pendulum monsters you control are unaffected by the effect. Cards in your Pendulum zone cannot be destroyed by that effect, or cards in your Pendulum zone cannot be banished by that effect. You can only activate 1 formal per turn. Interesting. And then for our super rare Sulfur Cord Harmonia, it's a field spell. Look at that, it's cute. I like this. So you can only activate one of these effects. Add 1 face-up Sulfur Cord Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Increase the pendulum scale of 1 Sulfur Cord card in your Pendulum zone by its level this turn. Interesting. And if you control 1 Sulfur Cord Pendulum monster with at least 3 different even pendulum scales or at least 3 different odd pendulum scales, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. You can use this effect only once per turn. Interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how pendulum monsters and how pendulum summoning works. So, because I stopped playing after pendulums started becoming a thing, and that was a long while ago. But I'll eventually get the hang of it, right? Okay, we got Megabilis once again. King of the Feral Imps. We got another Mighty Draco Slayer Snake Rain. Ogdoadic Calling. So that's a token card. We got another Luster Pendulum. And okay, for our super rare, we have Ailerit, the Ogdoadic Dark. It looks pretty cool. So if this card is in your grave, you contribute 1 monster. Special summon this card, and then your opponent can add 1 monster from their graveyard to the hand. If this is a special summon, you can target 2 of your banished monsters, including a reptile monster, and then return them to the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Of course, they gotta. I wonder if in the future, if they will revise like the text, again, to shorten these paragraphs. You know, because sometimes it gets kind of people get turned away by the amount you have to read, you know. All right, we got Light Serpent. Send this hand from the graveyard. You can special summon this card from. Okay, you can special summon this card from your graveyard and cannot be used as synchro material. Interesting. Okay. We have Flogos, the Ogdoadic Boundless. Oh boy, we have a paragraph here. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard or special summon from the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and add one monster in their graveyard with an equal or higher attack than that target. Special summon that monster from the graveyard to their field. Okay, and if you do, send that other monster they control to the graveyard. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn. Jeez, so much. There's a lot going on in that. All right, we got another Zoha, a Sulfur Core formal card again. We got Pot of Riches, Ursatic Tannis. Okay, tuner monster, quick effect to contribute one others. Okay, it's the same Ursatic summoning condition, quick effect. Okay, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face down. Defense. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay. And we have a super rare Sulfur Cord, Angelia. Cool. Look at that art. That's actually pretty cool. And so your pendulum effect is your opponent cannot activate a spell trap or monster effect when the Sulfur Cord pendulum is summoned. Holy moly. Let's read this. When you have an odd pendulum skill in your pendulum zone, if your Sulfur Core pendulum and monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. And during your main phase, you can tribute one Sulfur Core pendulum, even if it's face down. And if you do summon one Sulfur Core pendulum monster from your deck, whose pendulum scale is 2 or higher or 2 lower than that monster, except for Angelia. You can only use this one effect once per turn. Oh boy, whoa, that's a. I'm gonna need to catch my breath one of these moments after I have to read. Jeez. All right, we got another Origin. Okay, we got another Majestic Paladin. All right, we got Elitia once again. Another Quint Charge, Zoa, Pot of Riches once again. Okay, and our super rare is Karuz, the Ogdoadic Light. If this card is in graveyard, tribute one monster. Special summon this card. Your opponent can special summon one monster from their graveyard, but negate its effects. If this card is special summoned, you can target one level 4 Ogdoadic monster from your graveyard, special summon it. Banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, cool. A lot going on in these card effects. So we got another Pankratops. Another Majestic Paladin, another Rise of the Snake Deity. Okay, we got Ignite, Reload, reveal any number of Pendulum monsters from your hand, and reshuffle them into the deck, then draw cards equal to the number of cards you shuffled in the deck plus 1. For the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot draw cards by a card effect, so you can only activate one of these per turn. Alright, we got another Ignister Prominence, another Venominaga, okay, another Water Lily super rare. Okay. So far, so good. So yeah, since there's only 60 cards in this entire Ancient Guardian set, we're bound to get a ton of duplicates. So no worries there, but that means we're gonna breeze by these cards super fast. Okay, we got another Sulfur Cord Formal. Okay, Ursatic Megatanus, Ignite Reload once again. Okay, we got a Venominion, King of Poisonous Snakes. He's not a new card, but here he is. A reprint, Ogdoadic Hollow. During the main phase, you contribute one reptile effect monster, then target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this face-up card is sent from the spell or trap zone to the graveyard, send all face-up reptiles you control to the graveyard. Okay. Viper's Rebirth. If all the monsters in your graveyard are reptile. Wow, what a restriction. Target one non-tuner in your graveyard and special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. Okay, and our super rare is Nunu, the Ogdoadic Remnant. Oh, look at this. So you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, send one dark reptile monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you control no monsters or you control an Ogdoadic monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except for reptiles while this card is face up. You can only use this effect once per turn. Wow. They gotta like shorten that somehow, right? That limit once per turn, something like that, you know? Hopefully they'll shorten these limitation effects eventually in the future, right? Alright, we got Ogdoated Hollow, another Trade-in, Air's Rock. Alright, Evil Dragon Ananta. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heads. Reptile effect cannot be a special normal summon or set. Must be special summon by banishing all reptile monsters you control into you control into your graveyard and in your graveyard. Wow. This card's attack and defense becomes the number of monsters banished for its special summon times 600 once per turn during the end phase, and you can target one card and destroy it. Interesting. Alright, we got another Dreamia, Soulful Cord Scale. Okay. And we got Soulful Cord Gracia. So Pendulum Monster 4/4. Your opponent cannot activate spell traps on Soulful Cords are summoned, of course. That's the Soulful Cord gimmick there. And while you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if your Soulful Cord pendulum monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the damage step. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Soulful Cord spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Of course. Interesting. But I'm loving actually the Soulful Cord art. It's very distinct and stands out from like the other cards. But I guess you could say the same thing for the Static and the Reptile cards as well. Alright, we got Soulful Cord Musica. I believe this is new. Activate one of these effects based on pendulum skills you control. Odd. Special summon one face-up Soulful Cord pendulum monster with an odd pendulum scale from the extra deck. Even. Special summon one face-up Soulful Cord pendulum monster with an even pendulum. Okay, with even pendulums from your extra deck. Even and odd. Target one card your opponent controls and destroy. You can only activate this once per turn, obviously. Okay, we got another Skullmeister. Rise of the Snake Deity. Light Serpent. Okay, another Pancratops. Okay, we got Flogos, the Ogdoated Boundless, I believe. I believe we got him before. Okay, and we got ourselves. Oh, okay, we got an ultra rare here. Aaron, the Ogdoated King. Cool. Look at that hollow. Actually, pretty cool. Notice how the hollow doesn't affect the dark parts of the armor and stuff. All right, so right away, I'm gonna put this guy in a sleeve real quick. So I have these side-loading perfect fits here. Okay, so there we go. If this card is in your graveyard, you can tribute 2 monsters. Special summon this card. If your opponent adds a card to their hand except during the draw phase or damage step, you can send one random card from their hand to the graveyard. And if a monster your opponent controls is sent to the graveyard except during the damage step, you can add one light or dark reptile monster from your deck or graveyard to the hand, except for the same card. You can only use the effect once per turn. Okay, cool. So that's our first ultra. Pretty cool. All right, moving on. All right, Origin once again. Ursatic Megapolar once again. Offering to the Snake Deity. Dreamia, hello again. Trade in, okay, and Ursatic Quint Charge, and we got Ogdoatic Remnant once again. Cool. Just speed through all the cards that we already seen. All right, got Flogos, Pot of Riches here. Air's Rock, Soulful Cord Scale, Ananta, Magister Paladin, and okay, we got Ursatic Mictanus, I believe. Yes. Same quick effect. If this card is special summon, you can target one Ursatic monster in your graveyard except for Mictanus and add it to your hand. Limitation 1 per turn. Cool. Hopefully I can get all the cards in the set. Maybe not all the cards, maybe everything but the collector's rares just to complete the set, but I really want at least one collector's rare, right? Okay, we got Viper's Rebirth again, Snake Rain, Ignister Prominence, Lasting Draco Slayer, Soulful Chord Formal, Ogdoated Calling, Wavering Eyes, and Illurit the Ogdoated Dark once again. Cool. Keep on going. Remember, guys, 60 card sets, and 15 of those cards have become excuse me. So 15 of those cards can come out as collector's rares. All right, so trade in. Hollow, Prominence, Mighty Draco Slayer, Blessed Pendulum, Mega Polar, and okay, we got another ultra rare. Awesome. So Ogdoabyss, the Ogdoatic Overlord. Sick. So this is the monster you see on the box for Ogdoatic cards here. So if this card is in your graveyard, tribute 3 monsters. You can tribute 3 monsters, special summon this card. And once while this card is face up on the field, quick effect, you can send all monsters from the field to the graveyard except for face up, special summoned from the graveyard. So wow, you gotta remember those. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn, of course. Okay, into the side loader you go. Cool. So we got 2 ultra rares now. Not bad. Okay, so we got another Me Soulful Chord Elitia. King of the Feral Imps, Ananta once again, Viper's Rebirth. We got a Venominion, Poison Snake, Ursatic Megatanus once again, and Ursatic Slider. Super rare. Alright, got a Quinn Charge, Viper's Rebirth, another Snake Rain, Blasting Draco Slayer, Formal, Calling, and okay, we got a Doe Soulful Chord Cutia for a super rare. Cute. Okay, so Pendulum effect is different. So Pendulum summons of your Soulful Chord Pendulum monsters cannot be negated. Cool. So while you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, Soulful Chord Pendulum monsters you control gain attack equal to 100 times their own Pendulum scale. So in this case, she's an 8, right? So she would gain, let's see, she would gain 800 points, right? So she would get an 100 attack. If this card is no more special summoned, you can add 1 Soulful Chord Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, except for Dual Soulful Chord Cutia. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, cool. I think these Soulful Chord cards, these Pendulum monsters, put a new spin on, a little bit of a new spin on Pendulum summonings and Pendulum monsters in general. So the archetype is a little bit different because it has its own like little like theme gimmick kind of thing, you know. All right, we got another Megatanus, Reload, another Venominion, Ogdoatic Hollow, Rebirth, Musica, I believe. Yes, we've seen this before, and another Angelia super rare. So not bad. Okay, moving on. Okay, Wavering Eyes once again. Elitia once again. King of Feral Imps and Ananta. Viper's Rebirth. Venominion. Okay, we got a super rare here. This is our... Okay, so this is our poster child for the Soulful Chord cards on the box. And just leave you go. So this is those Soulful Chord Coolia. So cannot activate spell or trap pendulum effect when a pendulum monster is summoned. You can special summon this card from your hand by attributing 2 pendulum monsters. You can only use each of the following effects of Coolia once per turn. Effect number 1. You can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, or up to 2 cards if you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone. Negate its effects until the end of the opponent's turn. When the effect of a monster is on the field is activated, when an equal or lower attack than the highest pendulum scale in your pendulum zone times 300, you can destroy that monster. A lot of math involved there. So it's really pretty cool that they put Do Soulful Chord Coolia. So we have Do Soulful Chord Cutia here, right? If you guys don't know your music terms, there's the starting note of Do in the scale, and then it starts back up at Do at the top of the scale, and then at the top of the scale we have this cool ultra rare card. So awesome. All right, moving on. Alrighty, here we go. We got another Skull Maester. Okay. Rise of the Snake Deity, Light Serpent, Pancratops, Flogos, Ogdoated Boundless again. Okay, we got Mighty Drill. Guys, we've hit it. We've caught ourselves a collector's rare of Aaron the Ogdoated King. You guys don't see it? You guys see it? That is sick. If you guys don't see it, you can see there's a hollow on the black border. And like you can see like the little you see a little bit of texture on the card, the crystallized texturing, and the hollow. So wow. Sick, guys. This is my first ever collector's rare card. So I have the price guide here. So in terms of collector's rares, he's not the most expensive card in this set in terms of collectability, but he is worth $70 out of all the collector's rares. And to compare, for the top collector's rare card, which is the Skullmacer collector's rare. Skullmacer's collector's rare is about $160. So let me put this guy into his sleeve real quick. Cool. So this, yeah, remember guys, so Skullmacer is $159. He's the top of the list at this time. Aaron the Ogdoated King collector's rare version is $70. So that's pretty cool. Okay, moving forward, we have this is the second to last pack of the box. All right, we got Ursardic Megatanus. Okay, we got Draco Slayer, Light Serpent, Reload, Snake Deity, Musica. Okay, so this is our first Soulful Core Elegance. Super rare. Pretty. So activate one of these effects, place one Soulful Core Pendulum monster in your deck to the Pendulum Zone, or add one Soulful Core Pendulum monster from your hand to the extra deck face up, and place two Soulful Core monsters in your Pendulum Zone and one odd and one even scale from your deck to your Pendulum Zones, or add two cards, one odd and one even Pendulum scale from Pendulum Zones to the extra deck face up. And if you do, draw two cards. You can only activate one per turn. Cool. Okay, for the last pack of the first box, here we go. Hopefully we can get at least an ultra rare out of this pack. Alrighty, we got a Venom Mega Billis once again, Ayers Rock Sunrise, Soulful Cord Scale, Damage Reptile, okay, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer, and okay, our last card is going to be the Nauya, the Ogdoated Remnant. Super rare. Cool. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and send one light reptile monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Ogdoated spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn. Cool. Okay, so that was the first box. Not bad, right? So we got one collector's rare, 3 ultras. There's a bunch of supers, of course, and a bunch of rares. Common cards, they don't exist anymore, right? So we got a second box. Stakes Rain.